Hello and welcome. I am Tony Jacobson, the author of Disable Your Disability and the creator of this OILife YouTube channel. In this OILife Spotlight interview, I got to chop it up with Cesar Lucero. He is a teacher, a coach, a motivational speaker, and a fellow OIer. So let's go ahead and grab our Scantron, get that number 2 pencil, because there will be a quiz at the end of this interview. What's up, everybody? I got the one and only Cesar Lucero with me. What's up? What's up, Cez?
What's up, Tony?
How you doing? Before we started here, we were just saying that this is the first time we've actually spoken to each other, like, other than...
Kind of like person?
Yeah, in person.
I guess face-to-face?
Yeah, face-to-face.
Side-to-side?
Yeah, where we... Yeah, side-to-side. Wait, let's turn. Here, you turn. Yeah, hey, what's up? What's up? Oh, that's great. Thanks so much for taking the time to come and be part of this video series, the OI Spotlight, OILife YouTube channel. You know, it's all about spreading the awareness, gaining the acceptance, and sharing the awesomeness that is OI. And you are, you know, showing us the awesomeness that OI is. So that's why I wanted you to be a part of this, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course.
You know, ever since I started meeting my fellow OIers, there is always like this set of things that we all have in common. They're all different, but we kind of have them in common. I like to call them the Fabulous Four, and they are the 4 stats. What is your type? How many breaks have you had? How many surgeries have you had? And do you have any hardware in your body? So let's run down your Fabulous 4. Here we go.
So, I have type 4 Osteogenesis Imperfecta. And as far as the breaks, I think I've lost track when I was maybe 14, 15. I stopped counting. So during that time, I had maybe about 150 breaks. So, but as I got older, my bones have gotten stronger, and I haven't had as many breaks as I've had when I was a kid. But I did have a couple major breaks during the last 10 years, where I broke my femur and I had to be in the hospital for maybe 3 months. So I had to be, I remember I was coming home from work one day, and because I do everything on my own. I always ride my chair to work and all that stuff. People say I'm kind of crazy, but I kind of try to do everything out of the ordinary, I guess, or for someone that's in a wheelchair. And I guess it was one night, and I wasn't paying attention, and this is why you shouldn't text and drive. So, but I ended up falling off the edge of the sidewalk, and the chair fell on top of me, and I ended up breaking my femur. So they had to put my leg on I believe they had to pull it so that it could heal in place, and that was very painful. It was probably one of the worst breaks I've ever had. So I was in the hospital for about 3.5 months, but that was the most severe break, and I think that was in 2016. But since then, I haven't had anything really major. Thank God, knock on wood.
Right.
But I guess as far as breaks, maybe about 200. I guess. But, you know, for everybody that has OI, they know that sometimes, you know, we could break a bone coughing or sleeping the wrong way, or maybe even turning the wrong way, especially with our bones being so fragile. Yeah. So it's definitely a big number for sure, but, you know, we just keep going and chugging along.
Now, how many surgeries have you had?
Okay, so this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 surgeries, 11 major surgeries. Yeah. So I have steel rods in my legs, in my hips, and my arm, and I also have one on my back.
Ooh.
That was a major surgery. That was my last surgery that I had, was my back surgery.
And what did they do? What did they do exactly? Like, what did they just put pins? Did they fuse? Did they put a plate? Like, what did they do?
I believe they put pins. So it's a steel rod on both sides of the car, the spinal cord, and then they put pins on each side.
Mm-hmm.
So keep it from bending inwards. Because I guess when I was 11 years old, my back was starting to bend in, and so the doctor were afraid that before I get older, before it gets even more complicated, they might as well just go ahead and fix that situation. So the bone, I guess my back doesn't crush my lungs and my organs inside. So that's why they ended up doing it.
Yeah, that's good. So that's your Fab Four, man.
I guess so.
It's great. It's great because you just get to learn like the differences, and I think it's testament to someone that has Type 4. I go through that with fellow Type 1ers who, maybe someone with Type 4 only broke 2 or 3 times. Someone with Type 4 break 400 times. Like, it's so different when you get into actual types. Like, it's fun and we say, oh, I got Type 1, I got Type 4, and those things. But when it really comes down to the severity of it, that's what matters. And, like, that's where our biggest differences come into play.
Exactly. And, actually one of my biggest inspirations was, during these last 15 years, was Sean Stevenson. Rest in peace.
Yes.
He was such a big inspiration to me, just following his journey, because he and I had the same type of osteogenesis imperfecta, and I looked up at him and seeing the things that he went through, and knowing that I could eventually do accomplish some things that I wanted to do in my life. But of course, we were both different people. But using him as a guidance to people with OI was a big help.
Yeah. And I think that's a great thing, because that's what I see you doing too. Like, you're being that for somebody else now, which is, I think, a great thing with everything that you've got going on. So I really want to talk about both aspects of OI, like in our lives and how they've impacted us. So tell me just some of the things, just maybe 1 or 2 things of how OI has impacted your life in a negative way.
Ooh. Well, I really don't like to dwell on the negative, but if I would have to say what's impacted me the most, I guess during high school or during school, because I love being social. I love being I love interacting with other people. I was very popular in high school and then middle school, and I've always loved hanging out with people and stuff like that. So I guess the biggest challenge for me was when I broke a bone, and I would have to stay home for at least a week or 2 until I was able to get up and about. So during those 2 weeks were probably very difficult, because I'm a person that doesn't like to be in one place too long.
Yeah.
So I always have to be up and doing something. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges growing up and stuff, knowing that, it's like, why me? Why do I have to break now? Here's the story. Back when I was in high school, because I used to be a high school football coach, since I wasn't able to play the sport, the coaches gave me an opportunity to coach football instead, to help with the team, be around the team, interact with the team and stuff like that. So I remember it was homecoming, and it was homecoming week, and I was so excited about the week. We were playing one of our rivalry teams, and during practice, one of the coaches ended up falling on my shoulder.
Ooh.
And I ended up breaking my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very hard to sit because I had too much pressure. If I sit too long, it would hurt. And of course, I didn't have one of those chairs that could lean back or lay down and stuff like that. But I ended up toughing it out, that I ended up going to the game that Friday.
Oh my gosh.
And coaching the game. And people thought I was crazy. They're like, dude, you broke your arm during practice and you're going to sit on the sideline while there's a football game. That's how much I loved the games of football. Yeah. That's how passionate I was. And the team was like so inspired. They're like, wow, he's got a broken arm. He's in a wheelchair. He could be laying at home, and no, instead he's over here coaching football. So, but yeah, it's it's like with anybody with OI. If you break a bone and then you have to end up being grounded and not doing the things that you love to do, I think that's probably one of the most challenging things.
Yeah, I had a conversation with, I've been doing a few interviews, and another OIer was talking, we were talking about parents, and he had mentioned, he's like, yeah, my parents never grounded me because just whenever I broke a bone, I was grounded. It would be like,
Right?
I'm 8 weeks having to lay in a bed, so that's how they would ground me. So that's definitely a thing. I see how that can be a negative impact on you because, yeah, just being laid up, not being able to be social, not being out there, definitely can be a negative for you, because you're just not being able to fulfill that for yourself. Now, tell me, how has OI impacted your life in a positive way?
Ooh, well, actually, it's been a journey. I think it's helped me build character. It's helped me realize that not everybody is different. Our world is such a diverse world. We have so much diversity, whether it's culture, music, and the people, skin color, whatever, gay, straight, whatever. That's what I love about our world. Everybody's different, and as soon as I came to realize that I wasn't as normal as a normal person, or I couldn't do the things that a normal person could do, I knew I had to find my journey. I knew I had to find what I was good at, what I needed to do to accomplish what I needed to accomplish. So I think OI helped me build a lot of character, especially during those times when I would break a bone. It gave me the time to think about what I wanted to do, and it made me a stronger person. And I think overall, I can't thank my parents enough too, because they're such a big supporting cast, especially because they never limited me to doing what I wanted to do. They've always pushed me to keep trying no matter what. And if you don't succeed, then oh well, get back up. You've been through so much more than that. So if I can go through what I've gone through my whole life with surgeries, broken bones, and getting bullied at school and stuff like that, and overcome all that, I think the rest is just becomes easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I want to do more of these videos and really get our stories out there, because I think a lot of the parents that I've experienced, like since I've been a lot more active in the community, they will tend to go to well, I got to take care of my kid, like not let him do stuff. My parents were that way, where it was like, be careful, don't do anything crazy, like don't do anything really. And I really kind of had to just take it on myself as far as like, well, I'm going to try some stuff. I'm going to see what happens. So I have a different case than, someone like yourself, where it's like, yeah, your parents were encouraging and they're like, yeah, give it a try. Let's see what happens. I think there's parents that treat breaks as something negative and parents that treat it as something not necessarily positive, but it's not necessarily a negative thing. And I think that's
Right.
important for OIers to know, and for parents out there that might be watching, like, you can see a lot of us grown OIers understand now that when we were younger, maybe, you should have let us do more. Or I am doing great because my parents were this way.
Yeah, no, of course. And, everybody's different. Everybody handles the situation differently. Like I said, like Sean Stevenson, I know his parents, they allowed him to, try different things. They would never limit him to, not do whatever he wanted to do. So, but there's also other parents that are very careful too, and sometimes you have to be careful because you never know. Because with us, we have to know what our boundaries are. So it's not necessarily a bad thing being too careful and not being too careful. So everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different. How has OI impacted your teaching career? And then even if you can kind of get into like when you were coaching, because that's, someone with OI may think, oh, I couldn't coach football. You know what I mean? So how has it impacted, your teaching career and then also some of that coaching stuff too?
Yeah, well, you know, just like any other environment or situation that you go into, it can be scary at first, especially with so because I work at a high school, so sometimes the kids are a little bit more mature. But when you go into a middle school or an elementary school, um, there are some kids that don't really understand the situation you're in. So you kind of have to be aware and know that they don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So bullying is a big thing. I remember my first year working at the school that I work in, and believe it or not, I had some kids. They tried to bully me, but I didn't let that bother me. I honestly, having the past experiences in high school myself and dealing with bullying in school, I learned how to deal with that. And, I ended up pulling the kid aside and I talked to him. I'm like, this isn't cool. I'm a teacher. You need to respect me. And although I'm different from you, we're not all like you. You're not the same as this person. You're not the same as that person. How would you like it if this person made fun of you for doing this or for your skin color, for anything like that? You wouldn't be too pleased. So we had a self one-on-one conversation, and he ended up changing his mindset after that, and we ended up becoming really, really good friends after that. And but also the teachers there, they did a great job of showing the kids or telling the kids who I am and what I was there for. So having a supporting cast definitely helps as well.
Mm-hmm.
As far as high school, when I was a football coach, that was really an eye opener. I guess a lot of people, didn't think I could do it, especially because I'm in a wheelchair. How do I know how to play football?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what am I going to do and just sit on the sidelines and cheer? But no, I mean, I remember the first day I came into the coach's office. They're like, okay, so tomorrow two-a-days starts. So for those who don't know what two-a-days are, it's basically 2 practices in one day. You get up early in the morning and you practice in the morning, and then we get up in the afternoon and we practice in the afternoon. So I remember the first day of two-a-days, I was the first one there. Practice started at 6 in the morning. I was there at 5:30 in the morning
Mm-hmm.
before any of the coaches were there. So, I kind of wanted to lead by example. I wanted to show them that, I'm not here just to be a cheerleader. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to accomplish what I want to accomplish, and I want to be motivational to the team. I want to help the team in any way I can. So from that moment on, the coaches were really impressed. Rain or shine, and whether it was raining, I was still out there in my electric wheelchair, and I was still, yelling at the kids or yelling at the guys, make sure they're doing their work, showing them the right techniques, telling them how to do the right plays and stuff like that. I was so passionate about it because I wanted to feel part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do more than just be a mascot or a cheerleader. And I think I accomplished that during my first 3 years there. It was probably one of the best moments of my entire life. I don't know if you've seen the movie Friday Night Lights or any of the shows, but
Mm-hmm.
it's everything as that show is. It's just family, friends. We all come together as a big group, and we do everything for each other. And it was such a big dream come true for me because of my passion for football. Um, I think watching football growing up when I was a kid helped me get through OI as well. I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan, I was a big Troy Aikman fan back in the 90s. I don't know if you know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
But I wrote him a letter, and I wrote a couple other players, Emmitt Smith and Deion Sanders. And he was one of the first players to send me a whole bunch of autograph stuff. His picture in training camp, his Super Bowl winning hat, and a pen, and all that stuff. And from that moment on, I became like a big Cowboy fan, and I became in love with the sport. And every Sunday, I couldn't wait to watch the Cowboys play, whoever it was. So that ended up helping me throughout my life too, as well, because I wanted to do something in sports. I wanted to do something in football, and getting that opportunity in high school was definitely a dream come true. But the obstacles I had were definitely, I had to be careful because, I mean, could you imagine a 250-pound lineman falling on top of you?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I knew I had to keep my distance, but I didn't want to keep it too far, you know? Because I wanted to be part of the action, and I wanted to interact with the players. I wanted to know the plays. I wanted to explain the plays. I wanted to explain how to do this, how to do that. So, yeah, I mean, probably that one incident that I told you earlier was the only incident I had where I got hurt. And I was very fortunate that everybody was very careful, too. I had a great supporting cast around me. The players, the teams, and everything were great.
Yeah.
Actually, you can check out a video on me coaching football and when I was a little kid on my website. So on CesarLucero.com.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's great, man. And it's great because, like, the injury that you did have wasn't from what you would expect, right? It was the coach that fell on you, right?
It's crazy because, you know, I remember like it was yesterday. It's crazy how we remember, like, the freak accident.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we can't remember what we ate yesterday.
Right,
so,
right.
But yeah, I remember we were doing a punt drill, and the coach was backing up, and I literally, it felt like slow motion because I saw him backing up towards me. I'm like, yeah. And of course, it all went downhill from there. But,
man, yeah. Okay, I'm going to finish it with this. I want you to finish this sentence for me, okay?
Okay.
OI to me is...
OI to me is a tool that was given to me that is different from any other tool.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, now expound a little bit on that. How does it differ from other tools that you use?
Like, for example, you know, our tools are we're unique individuals. Just because we look or do things differently doesn't mean we can't do the same thing. You know, for example, somebody might have a bigger hammer, and then I have a smaller hammer. Even though it's smaller, I can still do the same task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we each have our own unique tool. It might be different, but we can do anything we want to as long as we put our minds to it. It might not be the same exact way, but it can still be accomplished.
All right, Cesar, thank you so much for being with us today. Is there any final thoughts that you want to give to the OILife family, our fellow OIers, the OILife community that is watching this video right now?
I guess the only thought and what I have to say is continue being you. Don't change for anybody. And always don't be afraid to take risks, actually. And sometimes we're going to fail, and that's okay. But we learn from it. And I think that we each have our unique disability, whether it's type 1 to type 4. As the older we get, we learn to adapt to our situations. So continue moving forward. And the biggest key to success is confidence. One of my favorite quotes, Confidence is contagious, so is a lack of confidence. Vince Lombardi.
I hope you enjoyed this interview. Make sure you check out some other Spotlight interviews right there. And also, there's a ton of OI related content here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you'll get notified every single time a new video goes up. Until next time, get out there and keep breaking barriers, not bones.